ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay there. I'm just sorting the mic. Welcome back to SLR Tier 1. I'm your host, Lars of the Red Hot Lovers. Eagle will hopefully be joining me later on as my co-commentator, but for now, you join me here in Mexico. That is how you're meant to say it. For the Mexican Grand Prix. 14 drivers on the grid today. Slightly lesser number, but hopefully that won't make for any less an exciting race. As we go through the grid in order of appearance on the time charts, we have Viper, Justin, Adesi, Lepson, Verch, John Wick, Crystals, Makender, Basco, Run Cruiser, Christian, Kit, Noah, and Jamie. They're all out here for qualifying around this high altitude, rather high stakes circuit, it must be said. Mexico, in previous experience, is something of a divisive circuit among the F1 community. Some people absolutely love it, some people loathe and despise it. It seems to be a very Marmite track, and I believe the same is true among the Tier 1 drivers. Certainly very fast, especially in Sector 1 and Sector 3. Drivers love getting their top speed up along the main straight, and the wider corners of Sector 1 play well to a lot of drivers' strengths. Sector 2 is where it all comes crashing down. A lot of drivers not a fan of, especially the very narrow angular sections at the start of Sector 2, and it's a very divided opinion on the rest of Sector 2, with those fast-flowing left-right handers. Some people find they're okay, others just get annoyed at how easy it is to go off track limits, as Jamie very nearly looked like he went off track limits there. He'll be the first to set a lap in the Alpine, and in fact he's backed off. He believes he ruined the lap there. So trying to see who's behind him on a lap. I don't know if, let's see, that's Lepson on an out lap. The other Mercedes is Kit, so it's not him. We have what appears to be, is that one of the Red Bulls? That's Verch. He'll be the first to set a lap now. And coming through into that Sector 2, you can see it is very angular. It's like someone drew those couple of corners with an Etch-a-Sketch. But then we come to this fast-flowing left-right complex. Very reminiscent of Circuit of the Americas, of course, but if anything, tighter than that one, and certainly narrower. Very difficult to go side-by-side through that complex. And then coming into the stadium section, where the vast majority of the crowd would be. And to be fair to the crowd, it's a very well-designed section for getting a good view of the cars as they come through. Not so brilliant for racing. And then you want to get the best launch possible out of the fan corner. Jamie did say a lap of a 1:22, but that's not competitive time because he backed off. A 1:14.733 is the first time on the board. That is reasonably competitive. Run Cruiser will be next, and he displays that with a 1:13 almost immediately. Noah just on the cusp of the 1:13s. We also have what I believe is, that was another driver starting the lap, my apologies. Justin now coming up to the line. Cutting to the inside, and he goes well inside the 1:13s, almost in the 1:12s. As per usual, Justin not pulling any punches on those banker laps. And he's already 8/10 up in front of the pole position. As we see Makender giving us a little wave with his DRS. Hello to you too, Makender. Crystals joining that group in the Ferrari. P5, immediately displaced by Lepson. And we have the McLaren of Christian to the line, goes up to P2, only 3/10 off. Christian once again very close to the pace of Justin. These two have been at it all season, it must be said. Kit now coming to the line on his recent return to the F1 games, only able to manage P8 on his banker, but that's still a fairly respectable time. But is beaten out by, who was that went across the line? Nope, I'm seeing things. My apologies. A couple more drivers coming to the line. Got Viper on the lap. He's coming into the pits, almost taking out that bollock with him. Adesi's on his way around. John Wick starting his main run. Watch the cars flying through there. Little bit of end lag on our screen, hence why the cars are stuttering. To be expected when you're running peer-to-peer connections. As Adesi makes his way through the stadium section. I really want to say Adeli because I remember that's the name of the penguin. But no, it is Adesi. and he comes to the line, not taking as much curb on the inside, but goes to P4 on his banker. The fourth driver into the 1 minute 13s, if only just. And coming across the line next will be, should be John Wick. There he is, navigating his way up to the stadium section. He's burned most of his ERS actually on this opening lap. You can hear the purring of the Red Bull as it comes through on the downshifts. Such a lovely sound. And to the line then, John Wick only gets P10 on his first run. A couple of other drivers making their way around. Makender weaving this way and that way in preparation for another lap. Adesi was on the cool down there. And we have a few other drivers pulling out of the pits. Looks to be both Red Bulls are on their out laps. Or sorry, one Red Bull's on his out lap, one's on the in lap. And I want to say that is Viper coming out here as well. Not sure why there was all that weaving going on there from Makender. To be honest, he didn't really seem to need it. But we'll follow Viper. We'll ride on board with him for his lap. Warming up the tires. Not entirely sure this track actually has corner names. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. No, it's always annoying when there's no corner names, but anyway. Running well wide on the curve there to get the best entry possible as we begin our qualifying run. Down the iconic main straight, you can really rev the guts out of the engine on the approach to turn 1 with a heavy braking zone. Use as much curb as you can. Try not to snatch a wheel and watch for the sausage curbs on the inside. Very easy to unsettle the car. Left, right, sorry, right, left, right. Run a little bit wide on exit. Activate DRS as soon as you're able to. Head down the back straight. Down into sector 2. Another heavy braking zone to a 90-degree left and a 90-degree right. This is why it's so controversial. Watch the sausage curb and don't run wide on exit. And then a double right-hander. Hold off the throttle for as little as possible before flooring it down into the left-right chicane section. Ride the curbs, they shouldn't kill you too much, but this is hell on the tyres when you're going through this in the race conditions. Don't run wide on exit, it's very easy to do so, and then throttle it down towards the stadium section, another 90-degree right-hander into the stadium section before almost a complete U-turn hairpin here in the stadium, and then quickly jank to the right. Ride the curb on exit, that was very brave, it's lucky he didn't invalidate there, and then cut to the inside, at least on qualifying, to shorten the track as much as possible, and that's P2 for Viper. And if my eyes don't deceive me, Eagle apparently joins. Is Eagle in the comm box with me?
Hello, Lars.
He is, there you go.
Good
Welcome,
evening.
my friend. You've just, you haven't missed too much. Most people have just finished their initial qualifying runs. We are now just waiting on Basco to do a banker, and we are onto the second leg here, so to speak.
Alright, it looks like Justin is on pole again for a moment.
For
like
the
most
moment,
times.
he was well clear initially, but Christian challenging and Viper just set his lap, so interesting. It's we are starting to see the same names at the top, it must be said, but that's not a bad thing. Showing who's really competitive up here in this tier. So Justin, obviously the defending champ, but he's had some stiff competition. Christian's always been up there or thereabouts. Jammy's not been far off. Noah has made a few surprising appearances in the top steps of the top rows of the grid. And Run Cruiser seems to be finding more pace as the season goes on, it must be said. So we've got a nice, good range of talent in here. As we've got yellows in sector 1, that's a Haas moving out of the way of everybody. So watch John Wick going through the chicanes of sector 2 up into the stadium. They all seem to be pretty much burning the DRS. Right, I don't know how that wasn't an invalid lap. He must have had a centimetre of tyre within the white lines. And does this improve? Do we get down into the 1 minute 12s? He only needs a tenth and a half to do so. It's not for the 1 minute 12s, but it is a new fastest lap, just on the cusp of 112s.
Well, I see someone back on track with us, Adesi. I think it's been a while.
I don't
Or
recall
I
seeing him
missed
for a while, that's for
Two
certain.
races.
An old friend of yours, perchance?
Not particularly the friend, just an old contender in Tier 1
Fair
in the
enough.
last seasons.
There you go, making his face appear again, a bit like Nigel Mansell back in the day. As we watch Christian, oh, big lock up into the stadium section, and a little bit ragged it seemed there. He hopefully will improve a little bit. He's about he's near enough 4/10 off pole. I don't think this will be a pole time. It's good enough for second, but still a tenth and a half off of Justin.
And we still have some time on the boards.
Yep, Makender invalidated his lap. Adesi appears to be on a bit of a secondary warm-up slash cooldown because he was a second down his previous best. Lepson improves by about near enough 2/10. Rickety aborts his lap and goes to the pits. Just looking at the rest of the track, John Wick is on his run. Basco did set a time of a 1:14.2. Ocean Chief has joined, by the way. Welcome to Ocean Chief, and he is sitting in the pits on the mediums. Good old Ocean Chief. You can never quite figure out what the heck he's doing.
He probably didn't have some practice, so he's gonna do it now for just 5 minutes.
Probably yes. Noticing Tunari in the chat saying first. No, that goes to Justin. Actually, gets first at the minute. Ocean Chief saying third, actually last. Where was second place, Ocean Chief?
What are they talking about?
Just whoever comments first in the chat, I guess.
Ah.
Ocean Chief is last in terms of the quality positions at present. John Wick looking to improve. John Wick has had, and he will board us up. John Wick, let's be honest, has had a bit of a Maldonado of a season so far. And by that I mean not that he's crashing into everyone, but he's had massively high highs, but the lows have been fairly low down as well. Bit of a mixed bag of a season for John Wick so far. As Lepson
We
also...
can't forget his problems with desync, of course.
Oh yes, of course, the desync robbing him. I mean, it's not all been his fault, you know, far from it. But it's not been the greatest of seasons so far. He's still in the running, I believe, for the title, but it's not been an easy road so far, especially against the likes of things like Justin and Christian, and even Jammy in there as well. Who have we got going out? Ocean Chief is going out, and he's on mediums. Not entirely sure why. Long gone are the days where you had to choose your tyres that you were going to start the race on, and there was a strategic call for that back in the day, but now it's just a case of, nah, you might as well go on the quicker tyre. Because he won't get time for another run, I don't think, if he's doing a fast lap on this set. Maybe he has a plan.
It's a short lap, but yeah, it's gonna be very close. But it's a driver with the most experience on track here, I think, so... I think he knows what he's doing.
I'm trying to channel our inner Kimi Räikkönen here. Well, we'll see, I suppose, how these mediums compare to the softs when an experienced driver is using them. And he's gone well wide of the apex of turn 1. Bumps the curb in 2, and that's... Oh, no! And that's in the wall.
Oh. Well, Makender is gonna start probably his final lap.
Yep. He should have time to get back to the pit, should Ocean Chief, if he gets a hurry on. We'll cut back to Makender, who has just started his lap. Desi's not far behind. Now, you better hope he doesn't come across the errant Ocean Chief on his lap. That was a big lock-up. Rides the curve nicely, though, does Makender. Keeps it clean enough on exit.
It's crazy how aggressive they go on those curbs.
They're braver men than I, but then maybe that's something to do with my crappy setups. I tend to go for quite low on the ride height, which I think is the problem, but then again, I'm just nervous of curbs anyway.
I'm not gonna judge.
You know, I mean, hey, you know, consistency. If I stay off the curbs, I can never get spun out by them. As
Yeah, true.
we watch Makender go making his way through Sector 2. Makendering his way through Sector 2, I should say. Coming up to the line. It's a purple Sector 2, according to the game, and he was faster, so it could be the glitch, but could actually be real. So 1 minute 13 dead, basically, to beat.
Well, Aldesi is only 600s up.
Desi's down P7, and he's got to find 8/10 to get anywhere near pole. It's only P4 for Makender. And having said that, near a 3/10 improvement, but it's not enough at present to get him anywhere near. A Desi to the line actually is down on his previous best. That's a disappointment for the Ferrari boy. Verch is out on track as well, currently sitting in 13th. Kind of been a mixed season all round for both Red Bulls as well, let's be honest. We've seen Verch up there fighting sometimes, but then other times he has absolute mayors. Will today be a repeat? Where's Crystals on track? Crystals is 2/10 up on his previous best, although he is the slowest time on the board at the minute with a 14.5. So he'll need a heck of a lot of improvement to get anywhere near up the field. He needs 3/10 just to get up to P12, and with the likes of John Wick and Basco, he'll need 4/10, 5/10 to get into the top 10. And he's coming across traffic as well. The Alpine getting out of the way. That's Jammy. Oh, the tail stepping out in the stadium section. That's going to cost him dearly, and he cuts across the inside and aborts for the pit lane. It wasn't going to be an improvement, so it'll be 14th start for Crystals. Trying to see who is on track on a lap at present. So just as long as that lap, Christian is fighting for it. Makender goes back and he'll start P4 at best. Jammy is 7/10 up, apparently.
What?
But then that was a glitch because, of course, he's only going through Sector 1 now. But we'll see what Jammy can do. And keep an eye on Viper and Christian as well. This is the fight for pole.
Noah 3/10 up. Last corner.
Jammy slightly down in Sector 1. Christian he's invalidated. Christian's invalidated. The map's red. He's invalidated. So it'll only be P2 at max for Christian.
Oh,
no. Jammy's down to 6th at present. We'll keep an eye on him, and then we'll cut back to Viper. Noah did improve by 3/10 and move himself up to P4, at least temporarily. Jammy has also invalidated. Jammy's map is also red. So really the only one who can challenge at present is Viper.
Viper?
He is near enough a 10th up in Sector 1. He's got to find 2/10 to snatch pole.
And he invalidates.
Oh no, 3 drivers invalidating in that second sector. He was nearly 3/10 up on that second sector as well. Viper
and
could have had pole.
Is 1/10 up. He's gonna make it to 12.
It would have been a 1 minute 12, wouldn't it? But that's a real shame. Unfortunately, you have to keep it within track limits. Kit is the only one still going around on a lap, and currently in P7. Is he improving in his second sector? No, he's backed off. He's down 5 seconds. That, unfortunately, those final runs were a bit of an anticlimax. So it looks to be Justin who pirouettes across the line in celebration with another pole position. It was closer than you would have believed after the first set of runs. He was about 9/10 clear on after his first run. But he will be on pole ahead of Christian, who basically is rival at this point, as we get for some reason, a third-person camera. Thank you for getting rid of that. That was disgusting to see.
Well, I think Justin just set the pressure too high for the other guys.
I was going to say my music cut out for a second there. Thanks to
too hard.
But anyway, Justin on pole for France, Christian second, Viper third, Noah fourth, Makender fifth, Jammy sixth, Kit in seventh, Adesi eighth, Lapsane ninth, and the Run Crews are running out the top 10. Behind them, Birch, John Wick, Basco, Crystals, and Ocean Chief not setting a time in the end. Come on, man, you're wearing the Northern Irish flag. You gotta do me a good service here. Come on, Ocean. Can't just put that flag on and then go qualify last. Unacceptable.
He's gonna surprise us. In which way? I don't know.
Well, I hope he surprises us in a good way. Northern Ireland is already a tiny country. We don't have that many F1 drivers. Last one in real life was Eddie Irvine, and we all know how that went. Nah.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know him.
I love you really,
Sorry.
Eddie. I love you. Please don't come to my house and bottle me. But anyway, the drivers will be preparing their strategies.
Oh no,
What?
I made a mistake.
What have you done? You didn't hit spectator, did you?
Yep.
You're in the grid. You're on the grid.
I'm not used to. Ah.
Right, just
I'm
sit back
gonna
at the
just try
start.
to retire in the pits.
Yeah, stay at the back, drive around one lap, and get. I mean, you could also jump the start and be a safety car for a lap if you want.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be horrible.
God damn it, Eagle.
I'm not used to it.
Anyway, 5 red lights and temporarily 16 drivers will be go. Who gets the better start off the line? It looks like it's going to be Justin does get the better launch. Viper gets a good launch as well. He'll be challenging down into turn 1. We'll go on board with Viper if we can very briefly. He's on the outside. He'll have to try and sweep around. He's the last of the late breakers. Oh, gets bumped wide slightly by Christian, but is able to hold it. Maykender and Kit both dropping places. So is Basco and Lepson. Most drivers holding station, it seems, but it's a clean enough getaway for most of them. As they all pull away, Eagle goes springing up the rear temporarily there. As we go into the twisty sector, we have an Aston Martin and the Alpine side by side. I say the Alpine. Jamie had a mare of a start. He didn't really get the launch he wanted. He's battling with Noah for P5 at present. As we make our way into the third sector, the cars look like they're on a different level compared to quali. That shows the amount of fuel they're carrying and how much it impacts the fluidity of the car. Run Cruiser looks like he's making a challenge on a Desi. Desi defending and running the Sauber off the road. Screw you, it's called the Sauber in my book, because Run Cruiser takes the position back, but they're still side by side going into the final corner. Who's going to win out on this one? Looks like it's going to be a Desi, but they're still battling away as Justin crosses the line in first place ahead of Christian. Viper, Maykender, Jamie, Kid, Adesi, Run Cruiser. Noah is dropping down the order. What's happened to Noah? Noah into the pits. And retiring from the session. Eagle, did you touch Noah?
No.
As we have a virtual safety car. Now that's not caused by you two. Both of you retired in the pits. There must have been contact in Sector 3. Not sure why it's led to Noah retiring. If you're able to get back in the comm box, you can keep an eye on on YouTube chat. Just running from the garage, from the McLaren garage all the way up to the comm box. Let me check the team radios, by which I mean our tier chat in Discord. Let's see what is being said in the chat, if anything. Nothing on the radio at the minute as we're back underway, as your AI has come back out onto the track for some godforsaken reason. But Justin gets the launch. He's already 1.3 clear of Christian in second. Ahead of Viper, Maykender, Jamie, Kit, Adesi, Run Cruiser, Basco, Lepson, John Wick, Crystals, Virgin, Ocean Chief following behind. Let's get the spectator menus up. We had the track rank up. We didn't see what happened to Noah. Hopefully he will shed some light on the situation. Whether he had to make a quick desperate dash to leave as Jamie loses out to Kit. Kit suddenly finding some real pace in the straight line here. He's made a good initial start. Jamie seems to be struggling on the straights. He might lose out to Adesi here. Adesi goes to the inside. They bump wheels. But Adesi braves it out. Wonderful move there from the Ferrari, but he slightly loses it on exit. Jamie will try and capitalise. He has the run. Can Adesi hold it? No, he loses out before the next corner. So Adesi briefly had 6th but lost it. But a good battle developing here. And well done to Kit for getting up to P5. He's made a great start. Let's just actually have a check real quick at the changes in positions.
Well, Viper really is putting the pressure on Christian there on his mediums, while Christian is on the hards. Already lost DRS to Justin, so Justin is really gonna just as the time to play with his strategy.
Yep. Basco, the big winner off the line in terms of actual net positions gained, up 4 places. Vert's the big loser, down 2. Everyone really gaining places there, except for obviously for Noah, who's down 12 because he's DNF. And Eagle, you technically finished 1 place up from where you started, even though you retired. As Maykender, on the hard compound tyre, sets the fastest lap of the race. That's surprising to see. So is the medium tyre actually quite bad around here?
Well, Viper goes for the move into P2.
Viper going for the move
Christian.
and does get past Christian. So the mediums can't be that bad, as Kit is dropping places now. He's ghosted. He's still in control though, not too sure what happened there, whether there was some contact and he had to go wide. As Christian now loses out on the straight to Makender. So it seems to be just a case of using the DRS to your advantage. Further on back, Run Cruiser trying to get past Kit as well. Kit is dropping like a stone here. I'm not sure what's happened to him. He's trying to fight it out, but he's dropped 3 places in the space of 1 sector. As they're all forming something of a train behind the Alpine of Jammy. Jammy 2.5 adrift of Christian. And he's wearing the same compound of tyre as well. Jammy doesn't seem overly happy on this track compared to other ones. It's not like he's in a super bad position, but we saw he struggled in quali relative to his normal pace, and he's struggling here now. As Adesi, Tokyo drifts his way into the stadium section. Coming under immense pressure from Run Cruiser. Viper now with the fastest lap of the race on the medium, so the status quo is restored as they head across the line. Christian maybe challenging for P3 here. They're all charging though going down this main straight. Doesn't look like anyone's able to make a move at this time. I say that actually Adesi did pull out while it was off camera. Oh no!
Adesi hits Jammy in the back.
Adesi, he hits Jammy in the back. Doesn't look like there's any damage. But Jammy was definitely unsettled and he's now under pressure from Run Cruiser. Run Cruiser will try and take advantage. Goes to the outside. Now we saw Lando Norris come a cropper with a move like this. Jammy seems to be a bit more respectful, maybe a bit too respectful, as there's more contact between him and Adesi. Kit will try and take advantage. It's all getting a bit claustrophobic in this middle sector.
While Lepson is losing places.
Lepson's
I think he had a little spun there. Lost 2 or 3 places, I think.
Yep. Oh, Kit got a bad exit there. But he's able to hold on through the left-right chicane section. Adesi all over the back of the Mercedes. And keep hitting the wrong button for the on-board. And you rebind that.
Kender really has some pace on those hards.
Yeah. Kit trying to make the most of those mediums, but it's a bit sloppy driving from some drivers today, isn't it? We're seeing a lot of errors, lots of mistakes. But it is a high tyre wear track. It's low downforce with the long straights, and because you're at high altitude, that affects how the car behaves as well. Makender gets past Viper, and so does Christian actually. Shows you the power of the DRS, losing 2 places on 1 run there. Basco gets ahead of Adesi under DRS as well. There's no visible damage on Adesi's car. Oh, as he loses the rear, that was I wonder if you know how they live in Mexico. That was a hell of a drift there. Meanwhile, further back, oh, it's a Red Bull civil war. John Wick battling Vert for supremacy. And Lepson, who had lost places, trying to rejoin the battle. John Wick gets 10 seconds penalty for cutting a corner and gaining a place. So he didn't relinquish the position. It's unusual for a driver not to give up a place like that because, of course, when he pits, he has to serve the 10 seconds and you can't really get that back. So I'm surprised John Wick brave that out. There's no point trying to battle those ones with the stewards unless you're past your final pit stop.
Larson, question. Did Justin win all the previous races?
I don't believe no, sure, Run Cruiser won Monaco, didn't? Or no, not Run Cruiser, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Who was it won? No, Justin, I don't believe Justin's won all of them, has he?
Okay.
Who's asking?
I am.
Oh, you are?
Because we can maybe see for the first, I thought maybe then for the first time another driver winning this race because Buchanan really has pace on those hards and he's closing, slightly closing the gap with Justin.
Hold on a second. Unfortunately, it seems they only post the standings rather than Tier 1 stats. Is it in there? Results?
I know. In Belgium, McKender won as well.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been other winners. Hold on. Let me have a look, see. Of course, the point system's completely different in here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Wait, Justin...
No, I believe I can see... Hold on. I'll get the stats for you if you want to let me know if anything's happening on track. It actually posts their wins.
I don't know. Yeah, Justin won
So
in Belgium.
Justin
Sorry.
has won, as of Belgium, this was Belgium by the way, he had won 5, got second on another, third in another. So yeah, I believe he's always been on the podium, if I recall correctly. He's basically doing a Schumacher 2004 at this point, but he's not won every single race. But he has, I believe, always been on the podium so far this season.
Oh yeah, Tugay won in Qatar as well.
Yep, that's true. No sign of any penalties yet. It's getting a little bit quieter at the front. The midfield, meanwhile, well, no one speaks for the midfield. They kind of do their own thing. As we have, that looks like a Ferrari sandwich with a nice Haas and Mercedes filling. The bread is making a lunch for it, though. A lunch for it. As a Desi gets past Lepson and immediately crashes into the back of Basco.
Is Justin struggling here on those off mediums already? Because that's very early.
It's high tire
one
deg
from
around
2 seconds.
Mexico, of course, because of the high temperatures, because of the altitude, and because of just how heavy the braking zones are. You do burn your tires very quickly. But Christian nearly within DRS range. But of course that means Justin's been controlling the pace a bit more, although he has burned quite a bit of ERS. Christian actually with more ERS on this occasion. He will probably lose out to Makender on this straight, but they've both been steadily gaining, using the DRS from each other to help close the gap. And they are, for the first time since the beginning of this race, within a second of Justin. Further on down, the Ferraris are now lying astern, 8th and 9th, as Crystals gets past Basco. And we seem to be finally settling down just a little bit, it seems. He said, laughing, knowing someone's going to T-bone someone into Sector 2. Nope, they're all well behaved this time. So in the front pack, you can see very clearly how the pack is developing here. The top 5 is basically like watching endurance racing. We've got all these little groups on the track. The top 5 in their own wee group. The midfield pack from P6 all the way down to about probably down to P11 with Lepson there. As Verch gets 3 seconds, and then John Wick, Ocean Chief, and Verch carrying on. But
And Viper is fighting so hard for that DRS.
Desi also gets a 3-second time penalty. Here come the penalties now. I get a feeling they're becoming a bit more thick and fast now. And Viper did not get DRS on that occasion, as Makender makes the move for the lead. For the first time, Justin has lost the lead of the race, but he'll be fine with that. He's aware his tires are graining, he's aware he doesn't have the same grip, and he'll be happy just to stick with the leaders in the train for now. Because he knows that come the end of the race, their tires, when they change the mediums, will be wearing away just as much.
And if they're gonna fight a bit in the fronts, then Viper is gonna be the laughing fourth. Because then he can join back that train.
Viper about 2/10 away from the DRS zone. Christian right underneath the rear wing of Justin. He's got a good setup under him for this race. You can tell. Because he's able to follow not just down the straight but also in the corners. It's difficult to get that balance right. It's allowing him to maintain his competitions. Viper gets 3 seconds. So one of our race contenders has now made his job a heck of a lot harder. He didn't get DRS on this lap either. And he'll lose about 2 or 3 tenths as Christian and Justin get DRS off each other there. More than that, in fact. The gap's up to 1.5 as they approach the braking zone. So Viper's starting to lose touch, and of course he's on old mediums as well. So he'll struggle to keep up with the hard compound runners. As Crystals and a Desi do a little position swap. Desi also swaps with the Haas. Though that wasn't planned.
And top 3 doesn't have any warning.
Verch.
So they're still clean.
Now this is interesting. Verch has retired, but was that in the pit lane? Did he make it to his pit box? Yes, he did. Never mind. He retired in the pits. It looked like he was stopped at the entrance of pit lane, but no, he made it to the pit box. Not too sure. Lepson has already pitted. At the minute, he was the first of the runners to pit. He is currently 30 seconds adrift, having changed to the hard compound tires after only 10 laps on the mediums. That would be a heck of a distance to go. 26 on the hards, unless he's doing a two-stopper.
He's not having it today. I think he's gambling for a safety car. That's the only thing he can do today.
Probably, yes. This is one of the few tracks where the one and the two stops may have strategic comparisons to each other. Normally it is quicker just to go the one stop, but with how high tire deg is, a two-stopper can work if you... Now, it's not easy to make it work, but it does have some viability compared to other tracks.
Okay.
Leon is just here for Ocean Chief, cheering for Ocean Chief. Well, he needs a bit more than cheering, mate. He needs a blimmin' nitrous booster in his car. He's currently down in P12. And in a bit of a no man's land, it must be said. 2 seconds adrift of John Wick and 28 ahead of Lepson. So, he needs a bit... Lend him your energy. Back to the front runners, though. Closest gap on track is Christian, who is still chasing down Justin, who is probably quite comfortable where he is in the present. Still within DRS.
Yeah, I do think he's still thinking about how is he gonna pull this off, because he's gonna be later on those harder tires. The other guy is gonna be on those mediums, gonna be faster. So if he wants to win this race, I think the only option was to build a gap. But he lost that gap already, so he'll be only struggling more.
I'm not gonna lie, it always surprises me when people go the counter strategy, because we know on this year's game the hards are basically goated. There's a reason they banned them in Creator Series, as Christian now has a look for the move, but Justin also going for the lead, and Maykinder is going to try and battle him for it. Oh, a little bit of contact there. And Maykinder does hold the lead. Justin trying to make his way through. Leon / Juice there saying he will bring Goku, as Justin brings his car back into first place. So clearly those mediums have a bit of pace in them yet. But as I was saying, it always surprised me when people go the counter strategy, because the hards are so good and comparable really on most tracks in pace to the mediums, but with a much longer life. The rule generally is you want to get rid of your weaker tire as early as possible. Oh, bit of a snap there actually from Justin.
I've heard that theoretically the fastest strategy is to first go on the hards. But then, yeah, it's difficult because then you're vulnerable to the guys on a softer tire, because if you then lose DRS, your race is practically over. Like,
and actually Justin boarding for the pit lane there, as another 3 seconds goes Viper's way. Now I'm saying it's interesting though, because of course surely you want your better tire on in the end stage when you're running lower on fuel and can make use of it. The mediums do not last particularly long, as we saw. Even Justin, who is very good with his tire management, from being out in front, only lasted 13 laps. I say only. Still a very
true, he's gonna have a good undercut.
It could be the undercut. We'll have to watch his pace. Where did he come out relative to everyone else? He came out P8. He would have liked, ideally, to have come out ahead of a Desi and had maybe that 8-second clean air. But knowing his pace, it shouldn't take him too long to get past. He'll want to try and actually get ahead here. He will make the move. He has to get ahead, preferably before Sector 2, and indeed he does so, because you don't want to be following a slower car in Sector 2. So that's worked out okay. In fact, it's worked out pretty well for Justin. He's now got a decent amount of clear track in front to warm up those hards and try and close in on the front runners. Christian and Maykinder, meanwhile. Sorry, go ahead.
This is his gamble, because 23 or 24 laps on hards is gonna be difficult, but he has to try something, because he knew he wasn't gonna be able to win this race. I think if he waited too long, he had to try to do the undercut.
It's not really a gamble as such, because of course the hard compound runners, I mean, we saw the mediums last what, roughly 13-14 laps. That means they, let me do the maths here.
Normally 16, 20, I think.
That means well,
like 16, 20.
Well, I hate to tell you, but our front runner, who literally had clear air, couldn't make his tires last more than 13 laps. So I'm going to go off of him rather than theoreticals, to be honest. But that means that means that if they're aiming for the same sort of tire deg as the front runners, that means the hard runners have to make these tires stretch until lap 23, which is quite a long distance to go.
Yeah, that Justin's gonna have a really good undercut there. Yeah.
Now, of course,
But
he's got
then
to
yeah, his
manage the
tires are gonna
tires.
be older. Yeah. This is gonna be nice to see. It's gonna be exciting.
It's a much more strategic race here at Monaco. And Makender and Christian carrying on their merry way and both pulling away from Jamie at present, using the DRS from each other. But then they also sort of slow each other up into the corners somewhat when they're battling each other. You can actually get, let me just give me 2 wee seconds, get the gap to the leader. At present, Justin is already up to P6 and he's only 19 seconds behind the leading two. So he's already within their pit stop window on fresh hards that he can manage the gap of a bit more now, because he's got a bit of clean air in front of him. Christian and Makender are both battling each other, and at this point, the longer they stay out, the more their lead is going to be harmed. Yes, they can make the mediums last a bit more nicely.
Yeah, he turned the roles around and he's setting the pressure on them now. Yeah.
Indeed. Just checking
if
penalties
no safety car
there.
destroys the strategy.
3 for Desi, 6 for Viper, 10 for John Wick. You can see there the ones who have stopped and who hasn't stopped. So the top 5 haven't stopped yet. Desi has not stopped yet either. So that'll be another. So basically, yeah, so Justin is now net leading the race. And he's only 3 seconds adrift of Kit. So at present, this is looking very promising.
I so hope no safety car is gonna destroy strategy. I'm really curious.
The thing is, though, a safety car at this stage could also destroy those who started on the hards, because assuming if safety car came out now in the last 3 laps, that means they would have to pit. It would make logical sense to, but then that would mean they would have 16 laps to go on the medium compound tire whilst trying to race for the win. So if they want a safety car, they wanted to come out with maybe they wanted to wait another 3-4 laps before another safety car comes out. If it came out now, they'd be in a bit of diffs.
On the other hand, you have like 2 to 3 laps with not really tire wear, so under the safety car.
It was virtual safety car, so there was a decent pace going on. And of course, they've been pushing each other as well, these two. It's not like they've been sitting back and being content. They've been battling each other, using ERS, using DRS, making moves into the corners to burn their tires even more. And I don't think they quite realise how quickly Justin's approaching. Justin's in P5, he's only 2 seconds adrift of Crystals, who's in P4.
Well, McKenna and Christian still goes for another lap on those hards. The only thing they can do now is just work together.
17 laps on those hards at present. As Christian makes the move. The gaps have spread out quite a bit after those pit stops. They should all bunch up together towards the end as different tyre wear strategies come into play. Tunari saying leaders definitely not pitting before lap 20, to be honest. Well, that's what we expect. That's what we expect. Lap 20 will be the earliest, I'd say. If tyre predictions are to be believed, you're saying it should be laps, about 16 laps the mediums can do.
So yeah, that's what the game says.
Taking to lap 20, you would say, at minimum, but you can see how it's hurting them in terms of the overall gap. And what that means is, as well, that, let's see, where is he gone? So Justin is really only 2 laps outside the ideal window for when he should have pitted.
Yeah, like.
And we don't know how much of it was tactical as well, because he might have just thought, look, I don't want to waste time battling with these front two. I'll go into the pits now, get some clearer track in front of me, let these two morons battle it out. As Justin easily dispatches Crystals and is now up to P4.
Yeah, well, McKender and Christian are playing the toe game.
Well, they sort of are, but then they keep on compromising each other's lines in the middle in the second and middle sector, because they're right under each other's wings. As Viper now sets the fastest lap of the race, having pitted. Actually, it was a few laps ago he pitted for hards.
Yeah, he countered on Justin to try and follow him, but
of course, Viper dealing with a 6-second time penalty as well, in total.
Yeah, I think Justin also knows he can't over push his hards now. He's really gonna have to be careful with them.
Tunari saying, I think both Makender and Christian have good odds still if they keep working together. I'm not too sure how much of this is actually working together and how much of it is just, please get out of my way, you absolute tosser.
Wow, I haven't seen them go side by side anywhere, so...
That's all. I mean, all the overtakes have been under DRS, but they have both been... well, they've both been pushing somewhat, but now you can see that Christian is in tyre management mode. He went down to none there for the third sector to get his DRS up, as Viper is now 9 seconds in the red.
John Wick already. Ooh.
John Wick, the only runner left on the old medium compound tyres. He's currently running P10.
And with 13 seconds of penalties already.
Oh dear. Tunari saying they're simply DRS swapping only gains them time. It does in theory, but we've seen people trying to do DRS swapping before, and you can see that although it's gaining Christian some time on the straights, you can see he's got much more confidence in the corners, and it's costing him time in sector 2 every lap that he's not ahead. So it's damage limitation to a degree. There's only so much they can do. You know, but
yeah, it's just damage limitation.
It's
well,
not
Crystal
optimal.
is the first on the mediums, so let's see what pace he can do on those new mediums and how much how much time he can gain on those guys on the hards.
We'll cut back to Crystals here. So he's immediately ahead of John Wick, but that was always going to be a no contest. That's 19 lap on mediums versus fresh mediums. That was a no-brainer of who was going to win that one. So we'll watch the gaps between Crystals and Kit. The gap is currently 2.2. As Christian using the DRS and actually staying behind Makender this time, maybe trying to be a bit more tactical. But you can visibly see Justin now on the camera as we follow Christian. Justin only 1.2 behind Jammy. Didn't get DRS on this occasion, but it only took him 7 laps to make up the time he lost. And I mean, well, let's put it this way. I know obviously the medium runners have to go onto a fresh set of tires and all, but because he's closed the gap up, he's now effectively, well, not effectively a pit stop ahead, but he's half a pit stop ahead. Once he gets past Jammy, it's a 10-second gap. You lose what, 22 seconds in the pits here? So they've lost a lot of time, so we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Is the extra grip that you get from the mediums worth the time they've lost sitting, swapping DRS for 20 laps? And Jammy doesn't even put up a fight with Justin. Justin was let straight through. Justin's had a very free run back up to the front here. He's not had to battle side by side. He hasn't had to waste tire life. He's just been trucking on. Now, of course,
they're still staying out.
Now, Jammy will get DRS here, of course, from Justin, but will he be able to challenge? Will he want to challenge? And you can see Justin weaving actually to warm up his tires, so it seems the hards are actually struggling to heat up a bit here, which would actually, so long as he has them in their correct window, they should be really good for tire life. I'm not saying Makender and Christian have no chance, but right now I think my money would be on Justin at present.
Yeah, if you look at in the way, like Justin only made a gap of 2 seconds on his mediums compared to the cold hards in the beginning, while these guys, Makender and Christian, are now gonna have to close a gap of like 10-12 seconds. So that's a huge gap.
Now they'll have to do, of course, the same as Justin did. They'll have to fight their way through the field. Assuming they pitted now, if we can get gap to the leader up here, just bear with me. So if they drop,
just in front of Run Cruiser,
so hang on, dropping behind Justin, that would be, well, you lose about 21 seconds, so they probably come out around, probably behind Viper, maybe behind Run Cruiser if there's a bad pit stop.
We're gonna see it immediately because they pitted both at the same time now.
Both finished their stops at exactly the same time, so losing out to Jammy as to be expected. Here comes Viper. Run Cruiser's only coming around the final corner, so as we expected, Makender and Christian come out between Viper and run cruiser. So not as many cars to make their way through, but now it's up to them in the remaining laps to hunt down Justin and pass him. Of course, Jammy should pit and get out of their way. He's done 22 laps on his hards. But of course then, this is the trouble now. Even though you've been working together for this part, now that there's no pit stop to take advantage of anymore, now you've got to battle each other. There'll be no love lost between Maker and Christian. Now they're on the exact same strat, on the exact same piece of tarmac. Junari believing the gap is too big because the mediums overheat, and that is true. We've seen that the hards in every track we've been to so far this season are bulletproof and actually are very good on the temperature management. Mediums do overheat on some tracks, and Mexico is definitely a track where tire temperature has a big impact. So, Makender's first priority will now be to try and gap Christian. It's 8/10 the gap because Christian's pit box was slightly behind, so he got off the pit limiter a bit later. Viper takes second from Jammy, who is yet to pit. In fact, Jammy does pit, my apologies. Jammy in the pits on the fresh medium, so game on. Let's see what we can do. The gap is roughly 9 seconds, nearer 10 actually.
Yeah, 9.9 seconds.
12 laps to go. 13 if you include this one. And both have to catch Justin and then sort out the mess between themselves.
If he can close 8/10 per lap average, I think, yeah, he can get it. They can get him, so...
Again though, remember, the mediums, when Justin was running the mediums and he was in clean air for pretty much the entire time, he was barely able to hold his mediums for 14 laps. These guys have to use their mediums for 15 laps and be pushing the whole time to catch Justin and battle each other. At the minute,
yeah,
it's somewhat between these two. I'd say it's advantage Makender because, of course, Christian will be getting the hot, dirty air from the Aston Martin, which will hurt his tyres even more.
For the moment, they're lapping 1 second faster than Justin.
To be expected early on, and of course, Justin, he's not even using ERS at present. Justin is managing his pace, managing his tyres. He'll know when he has to start pushing. He's using hot laps sparingly, more for acceleration out of the corners. So he knows the gap is going to come down, and he understands that there's no point panicking and pushing now. Burn off a bit more fuel, let these two wear each other out, and then when they start to pose a threat, then you start to push. Because of course they've both got to get past Viper, who although he has penalties, is not one to easily give up places. There's the Williams driver. Now, in theory, the chances are they'll get him on the main straight, but they're already coming across him in Sector 3, and that's going to slow them down.
But is Viper desyncing so hard for you as well?
He's not desyncing, there just seems to be a little bit of lag.
Okay.
Now, Christian is ahead of Makender at present. They're presumably going to swap on the DRS rate, but this could be a potential battle because, of course, Christian will now get DRS from Viper as well. So Christian may have the opportunity to defend this. Let's see how it goes. On to the main straight. Christian with the new fastest lap of the race on those fresh mediums. He'll get the run on Viper. And makes the move. Makender also will get past Viper. He should do. Indeed he does. Viper doesn't seem to fight too much. So they do actually stay as they are. There seems to be a little bit of awareness at least that we can't waste too much time. But they are battling each other as well. So 7 seconds the gap. 10 laps to go. 11 including this one.
Ooh, yeah. It just depends on those tires. When they're gonna drop and fall off.
And this is where...
Oh, good.
This is where I once again ask Codemasters that if we're being spectators, please give us a bit more information. Please give us, tire deg of the car we're looking at. Maybe give us a weather forecast or two or something like that. You know?
That would be so much better, yeah.
Would be really handy for commentators. I can understand though, by all means, ban it in leagues or something, if you want to. But then you need people in the lobby to spectate anyway if they were going to be race engineers, so there's not enough room anyway, so it's fine.
It can't be so hard. Just an option in the settings. That's it.
6.4
well,
the
Viper
gap. I don't
goes into
know.
the pits again.
10-second penalty, and he retires.
What?
I know he had penalties, but he was already more than 9 seconds clear of Run Cruiser. So Viper has had enough. And Run Cruiser, well, he could be sniffing a podium if these two take each other out. The gap is coming down quite rapidly at present. They've had those tyres on for 4 laps, compared to Justin's 13. So Tunari, I mean, if Tunari wants to update their prediction, but this is what we expect though. We expected the gap to come down rapidly as Ocean Chief gets 3 seconds of penalties. Juice will not be happy with that performance. Is it me or is it getting cloudy?
It is.
Now this could be interesting.
It really is.
Now I don't believe
Maybe that's why they
I
went so long for the hards.
I don't believe rain was forecast, but what this could mean is this might help the mediums with their tyre temperatures if the track gets cooler.
Oh.
Of course, it will help the hards as well. Now the gap is coming down a bit more slowly this time.
If there are gonna be drops, those hards are gonna be struggling so hard.
I don't think they will. The hards, remember, the original hards lasted like 20 laps. More than that, in fact, so...
Yeah, but the grip is gonna...
Yes, but don't forget the mediums will also lose grip.
Yeah, but they're warmer. Yeah, it depends on how much it's gonna rain. If indeed it's gonna rain. If Tunari can maybe give us some extra information.
Tunari's saying it's tough to tell.
An engineer.
He guesses the medium temps will be more manageable with the lighter fuel load, but then so will the hards, of course. All deg is reduced when you have a lighter fuel load. So Justin will also have less tire deg, and of course he's the one managing the pace. Jammy, sorry we were looking away there for a second, gets ahead of Run Cruiser. So Run Cruiser there was thinking maybe I could sneak onto the podium if these two blow each other up. Jammy says nope, no thank you. Now, Jammy of course was a lot closer on his mediums. And as I say, don't forget, even if Justin loses out, Christian and Makender are going to be battling each other, and Justin may decide, look, I'll wait in the wings for a lap or two. Wait till the crossover point, and then I'll come back at you. If Justin gets overtaken, it's not like he's a sitting duck and that's him done for the rest of the race. He will have the opportunity to fight back. Well. And we saw the gap, it was 5.6 over the line last time, now it's 4.9. So that's 7/10 reduction, which is less than what they were doing a couple of laps ago. So the tyre's already starting to wear. And in fact, the gap increased a little bit in the tail end of that first sector. Justin may be starting to wake up a little bit, or maybe we are already hitting the peak of these medium compound tires. And Makender sniffing a move there, he thought about it. Makender's getting impatient, thinking, look, if I can't get the win, I want second, let me through.
Yeah, Justin is doing consistently 16.6, while Christian did a 15.6 last lap. So still a second faster.
Well, on overall track pace, doesn't really translate to the gaps at present though. So it came down a lot more. It came down more on that lap. But again, how much of that is down to Justin managing pace? He's in the hot lap now, but he's still got 84% battery. He's not really been pushing that battery too much. Christian and Makender have been using it a fair bit more. This is going to be nip and tuck. 7 to go including this one. So by the end of the race, it'll be 23 laps on the hards for Justin and 14 on the mediums for Makender and Christian. Makender takes second again.
While Lepson says thank you very much to Viper because now he's in the points.
Indeed. Well, maybe not for long though. I'll tell you further on back. Ocean Chief, although he has the penalty of course, is eyeing up Lepson's place. Ocean Chief would love to take a point away to give to Juice. Of course, 2 admins in SLR, Ocean Chief and Lepson. Maybe settling some Discord level grievances in here. Meanwhile, Basco loses out on the DRS to Adesi.
Okay.
John Wick, by the way, is still bravely trucking on. 9 seconds adrift and with penalties and in last place of the runners. But he's still there. He's going on.
Yeah, he's taking it as a training, I think.
Yeah, gaining vital intelligence. The gap now under 4 seconds between Justin and Makender, with 6 to go. And it's actually back up before. Again, the gap reduction has slowed over these past few laps. Is it going to be enough for Justin? Is there going to be a last lap overtake? This feels like it could go all the way down to the last lap at present. Of course, and we must remember the
6 laps, 4 seconds.
We must remember the ancient proverb spoken by Murray Walker, blessed be his name in F1. Catching up is one thing, getting past is quite another entirely. Lovely little bit of Murrayism for you there. And the gap actually did increase in that middle sector during the twisty section. So are the mediums starting to lose grip? Oh, we have yellows.
Flag.
Lepson, he must have gone off track. He's got 3 seconds, but I think he got bumped wide a little bit there. No, actually it was a Red Bull. That was John Wick making a mistake. And the gap has increased. It's now 4.5. I think we've hit the crossover point.
But Christian has a full battery, so...
He does. He'll be trying to fight for second place here. But look, that gap is bigger than it was last lap. I think Tunari was right. Tunari indeed did say in the chat, it's over. I think they're gaining quite minimally already. It's amazing how quickly those tyres dropped off.
Yeah,
I mean, they were gaining hand over fist not 2 laps ago. They were gaining a second a lap, and now they're losing time to Justin. They've still gained a little bit there, but I think if Justin keeps his cool, he should be fine for the win so far. Never say anything is certain in F1 though.
Yeah, I think Christian already gave up because he's not pushing his ERS. He's just trying to maintain it to defend on McKenna, I think.
Yeah, he's
on 84%.
This is going to be the main battle.
But
although I wouldn't be giving up on pushing just yet. What I think would be the best thing for Christian to do, if possible, is try to get within the 3-second gap. In case there's a penalty for Justin or something like that. Obviously that's not easy to do.
I'll check it quickly. Justin, no warnings. So that's gonna be difficult. Christian has 1.
Well, of course they don't know that, so...
No. McKender has 2, so...
McKender could... that's why he wants to make the move, but he's got to be cautious. Because one more mistake will spell the end of his second place chances. But he has to push, of course, to get the better of Christian. This is the battle to watch. Go on board with the Aston Martin. Christian charging a lot in this middle sector, but then he can afford to. There's no reason to use ERS in this middle sector.
Yeah, I think they gave up. Whoa. I think it's over now.
You could hear the rear wanting to step out on Mayfinder there. It's not too late for one of these drivers to make a mistake, and Jamie, he's 15 seconds of drift, but he's still within sniffing shot of a podium, it must be said. All it takes is one error from one of the top 3, a clumsy move from Mayfinder, an overzealous defense from Christian. But that may be a bit of a fool's hope at present. These 3 drivers, all very experienced, all know how the game works, and very rarely do they make mistakes like that.
Yeah, McKenna is staying behind.
Further on back in the pack.
He's just gonna wait.
Tell you what, Kit's had an alright day at the office today. He's P6 chasing down Run Cruiser for a potential P5 within DRS range, and activates it. He's on slightly fresher hards, but doesn't seem to have the straight line speed. He's not using ERS for some reason. And actually, never mind, he says he doesn't need it, as he tries to force his way past Run Cruiser. Run Cruiser with a very aggressive defense there, but no foul, it must be said. And Rickety will try again. Goes to the outside. That's the easier of the 2 moves for Run Cruiser to defend. He snatches a break. Rickety trying to go over and under, but of course with how twisty Sector 2 is, there's no chance of that. Good little battle this though. For top 5 honours. 3 to go, including this one. Or sorry, yeah, including this one.
Oh, Chief is making the move on Lepson, going into the points.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Oh, we've got a battle of 3 here. John Wick is also getting involved, and he gets ahead of Lepson. Albeit he's got those massive amounts of penalties, although he would have already, he would have served his 10 seconds, wouldn't he? As Makender gets ahead of Christian on DRS as well. What can Rickety do on this occasion? Still not using any ERS on the main straight for some reason. Maybe he's being tactical. Maybe he's thinking, look, I'll do it on the final lap here, mate. Burst it up to medium and just staying in range with the DRS. Run Cruiser is using some to defend. I think Rickety's trying to be tactical here. I think he'll use all of his ERS on the final lap. We'll keep an eye on that battle as well, certainly. Further on down the order, John Wick trying to take at least on track 10th place. Whether he will hold on to it is another matter entirely. And
well, Justin is struggling as well on the stars, but still the gap is getting bigger. So
6 seconds, yeah. Just managing those tires well. Christian and Makender burned them out, as we thought they would.
I think we can conclude it's over now unless Justin makes a really
John
big
Wick is
mistake.
off the track.
Ooh.
He's lost part of his front wing, as he will be the first driver, possibly the only driver, to be lapped. So he'll only have one more lap to go. As Justin makes his way onto his final lap, as we come down the main straight. This is really Christian's last chance, and he's going for the move. And he will take it. Makender will maybe have one more chance, possibly 2, to reclaim second place. What can Kit do? We'll keep an eye on him as well. And he is using overtake mode here. Now down a hot lap, but still got more pace. Oh, that was a bit of a late move from Run Cruiser, trying to block him off consistently. Kit does take P5. Makender was not able to make the move stick. Can Kit hold it? I'd love to see Rickety, I know him well. I'd love to see him do well in here. Had good battles with Rickety in the past. We fought for pole in Monza back in 21, and that was a heck of a battle. He won that one by 0.08 of a second. And it looks like
Makender is not close enough.
He's looking good for P5.
Just not close enough to Christian.
Makender looks like he'll have to settle for 3rd. Unless there... Oh, there was a slight...
Ooh,
oh,
Christian
that's
goes
slightly wide. The last desperate lunge, Justin wins. Who's going to come home second? It's going to be Christian. Oh no! Makender spins, but he will go backwards across the line. And Jamie will hold him to 4th. Who's going to get P5? Run Cruiser tries to think about a lunge, but Kit holding it just about. And Run Cruiser in the wrong position to make a lunge there. They come around the final bend. Run Cruiser tries to drag him to the line, but Kit holds on to 5th place by 1/10 of a second. Good drive from Kit today. Nice to see him up there with the others. Run Cruiser will take 6th. Crystals will make 7th. Adesi will take 8th. As John Wick retires on track. Whee! There goes the Ferrari.
Who will take the last points? That's the only thing that's not sure yet.
9th will be
I think
Basco.
Ocean is too far.
And I don't know what the difference in penalties is. At present it's Lepson who's going to get the final point. We'll see how the penalties work out. Battles all the way through the field here. Round to the final corner. And who is going to get P10? Whoa! As Ocean Chief, well, definitely he won't get 9 because he gets 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane and crosses the finish line in the pit lane. So, Ocean Chief not taking any points. Juice will be heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. Crystal's getting driver of the day. Not sure I agree with that one.
I think Justin just did the perfect strategy today.
I know
He proved me wrong.
It's an easy pick to pick, or it's always like the safe pick to pick the winner of the race. I'll have to look back at Kit's race because I think he did quite well today as well. It must be said. Who else? Jamie. I mean, Makender was never. Well, Makender, you know, tried to make it work. Jamie didn't have such a good race today. Let's see. I mean, Run Cruiser potentially in the running there from 10th to 6th.
Yeah,
Crystal's actually 14th to 7th, so not a bad run, although there were a fair few DNFs.
Yeah, Basco as well. gate
gonna be-
places.
It's going to be a tough pick for driver of the day, but your
penalties.
final standings, provisional standings I should say, before penalties and stewards' inquiries. Justin, Christian, Makender, Jammy, Kit, Run Cruiser, Crystals, Adesi, Basco, Lefson running out the top 10, Ocean Chief in 11th. John Wick is classified, I believe, even though he retired. Your non-finishers, Viper, Verge, Eagle, and Noah.
Alright, Lars, I'm gonna have to let you go and do the comms biome. I have to go.
Oh, do you? You have to run?
Yeah, I'll have to race myself.
Ah, fair enough. You have to race
Alright,
yourself. It's
thank you
time
for the good
trial mode.
comms.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, see ya.
See ya, man.
Adios.
Enjoy the comms, guys.
Thank you.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Just looking at the team radios. Vert saying it ends here for me. Making too many mistakes and I had almost no practice. So yeah, see you guys next week better prepared. Viper saying if my internet's still bad in quality, I'm going to retire. That was obviously just after we'd started. So that was okay. We can ignore that one. Ron Cruiser saying that was a boring race. Jammy enjoyed his drifting practice. And his rear temps were apparently 114 at the end of that race. Poor Noah. Not too sure what happened to him on lap 1. We never heard word from him. We'll maybe find out if anyone's doing interviews what's happened to him there. Looks like there's only one in the interview room. We'll pop in and join Justin. Justin.
Hello.
A tidy strategy and a tidy win.
Yeah.
Was it a boring race for you? Some drivers saying that was a rather boring one. I mean, we thought it was quite good in terms of a strategic battle.
Yeah, I think the race for me wasn't too boring, but I think it was very much won in the stint when I boxed and when McKender and Christian boxed, because the ideal gap would be under 10 seconds when they pit, because I knew that the mediums after about 5 laps start to overheat quite badly, so even if they did DRS share, I'd have better tires for the final lap in case it came to it. So it was just about managing the
I mean, it
final
wasn't
stint.
quite 5 laps. I mean, we had some doubts in our head. The gap was coming down, I would have said, all the way until about lap 8? 8 laps on the mediums. So, but Tunari said in the chat there that the mediums do overheat. And sure enough, Jammy, I believe he checked his mediums at the end. His left rear was at 114.
Yeah, they were quite bad.
Overheating was a problem. They did gain on you quite a bit, but did you feel under threat at any point, or was it? Were you confident in the strategy?
Well, I would have liked to say no. Obviously, I wasn't under pressure, but for like 3-4 laps when they kept having DRS on certain cars overtaking the field, and they were like 1.5 seconds a lap faster than me, I knew that if they did that, they would very quickly be on the back of me. But then after, once they started DRS sharing and then the overheating and the wear started to come, it was only 3 or 4 tenths a lap, and I knew it wouldn't be possible even if they kept at it.
Indeed. So you continue your streak. I believe you've had every race so far on the podium, at least, if I recall correctly.
You cut out. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm saying I believe you've had every race on the podium so far. You haven't won every race, obviously, but I think every race you've had has been on the podium, if I recall correctly.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Justin? Hello? Hello? Justin?
Hello? I can't hear you.
Chat, can you hear me?
That's weird.
Hello?
I don't know if it's a me issue, but...
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh, hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Not sure what happened there. Discord was still picking up the mic. That was weird. Was I still lighting up on your end, or could you not hear me at all?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That must be a thing on Discord then. No, I was saying, I believe you finished every race on the podium so far.
Don't jinx me now, but I think so, yeah.
So far it's at the present. I mean, what are we going? We're doing a Schumacher 2004. Um, do you think you can win or finish every race on the podium? I'm not trying to jinx it, like I'm knocking on wood right now, but I mean,
I mean,
do
look,
you think you have a chance for that?
look, I don't like China, and that's next week, so I'm not particularly looking forward to that. Just as a track, I haven't touched really that much since maybe F1 2021, so it's not exactly a track that's in the back of my mind. But if I could just get a podium and keep the streak going, that would be ideal. It's just unfortunate that the championship might be won next week, but in China, so
Hmm.
yeah, but just try and focus on that.
All right, fair enough. Well, you were the only one popping in for interview, so with that note, chat, I will call it here. Eagle also had to run away there and sort stuff. So thank you very much for joining us. Wasn't quite as full of grid, but still felt like a pretty good race to watch, at least from our perspective. And next week we are in
China.
China. Yes, we are in China. So we will see you next week in the. I know I'm not going to make a joke about China. I'll lose my social credit score. But anyway, we will see you all next week for China. Same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, take very good care. Good night, everybody.